Hello everyone and welcome back to Spinnin' Prog with me, Tara, and today we are going to talk about a topic that I love talking about, keyboard players. But not just any keyboard players, underrated keyboard players in prog. Oh my god, so I could go on and on and on about this topic. We all know the big dogs like Rick Wakeman, Keith Emerson and all them. But what about the guys that don't get talked about? Huh? We gotta show them some love too. So I am going to list 5 keyboard players that I feel are very underrated and don't get talked about enough. So I'm starting off strong with someone that we lost last year, Mr. Mike Pinder of the Moody Blues. Now, some people might say he's not underrated. I feel like he is so underrated because when you think about the impact he had on prog music and music in general, it is huge. Like, this guy was the pioneer of the mellotron. You know, a lot of people say, oh, the first time you hear mellotron is in Strawberry Fields. Where do you think they got that mellotron? Mike Pinder. The work he did with the Moody Blues was groundbreaking. Absolutely incredible, and the inspiration he had on all the keyboard players we know and love was huge. So, like I said, some people might think he's not underrated. I think he absolutely is. He should be in every conversation about keyboard players. So that was number 1, Mike Pinder. Number 2 is another one that we lost last year. Last year was a bad year for losing musicians. Mr. John Hawin. Now, I would mainly know Mr. John Hawin from his work with the Strawbs, and he was another one who was fantastic on the mellotron. Like, what he did on Hero and Heroine was incredible. Great work. But he also played with Renaissance in their early days. He was on the first album, and I think he was on the second too, I could be wrong. But he played with Spooky Tooth as well, Illusion, like he did a lot of work. And no one ever talks about John Hawin. And it's a pity because he was an incredible player, absolutely fantastic. And you know, I know I'm a bit of I'm a bitch for the mellotron, you know, so I'm gonna I'm gonna be pulling out like a few mellotron players here, but yeah, he was incredible. Like I said, what he did on Hero and Heroine was fantastic. He had a big impact on Renaissance in the early days too. He did a lot of work helping them with writing and stuff, so great player and needs to be talked about more. Alright, so number 3 is someone we lost a couple of weeks ago, Simon House. Now, Simon House was mainly known for his violin playing, and I've always said he's one of those players that proved violin belongs in prog. But Simon was also a fantastic keyboard player. Now, he's mainly known for his work with Hawkwind, which I love. I mean, my favourite example is what he did on Quark, Strangeness and Charm. Great stuff, like really cool playing. But Simon did a lot of work. He was kind of a session musician. He did some work with David Bowie, David Sylvian. He went off with Bob Calvert from Hawkwind, and he did some work with Michael Moorcock. Like, he was all over the place because he was such a good musician and he had multiple disciplines. But yeah, his keyboard playing is totally underrated. Absolutely love his stuff. Alright, next on the list is, so he kind of branches off of the Hawkwind tree. And this is someone who is still with us, thank God. Mr. Tim Blake, who, yes, he worked with Hawkwind, but he is mainly known for his work with Gong. And he was the man who was playing the keyboard on the Pothead Pixies trilogy, if you will. So Flying Teapot, Angel's Egg and You. 3 fantastic albums, great stuff from Tim Blake there. And he's still doing stuff solo as well. He still pops in with Hawkwind now and again too, which is great stuff. But yeah, he's playing the stuff he did with Gong, like, so underrated. Especially You. You is a very kind of fusiony album. Really awesome. It kind of leans away from how spacey and sort of crazy Flying Teapot and Angel's Egg were, and it goes very fusiony, and the musicianship is kind of focused in on. And the stuff Tim Blake does on it is incredible. So good. Alright, and my last pick, right? This is someone from a band that we hear about all the time, but we only really hear about certain members of this band. I am going to pick John Evans from Jethro Tull. I feel like he is never ever talked about. You know, and he played on all the great Jethro Tull albums. And yeah, I'm going to make a statement like that. The great Jethro Tull albums, because there have been a lot that are not great. Yeah, I mean, without John Evans, they wouldn't have sounded as great as they do. And like I said, no one talks about him. What comes to mind for me, especially, is Thick as a Brick. The stuff he did on that is absolutely brilliant. And it would not sound so fantastic without his work. And yeah, underrated player once again. But here I am shining a light on these guys, trying to make sure we all remember how incredible they are. So anyway, a nice short little video. I'm trying to push into the YouTube algorithm a little bit more, and it seems to like the shorter videos. I hope you guys enjoyed, and let me know who you think are underrated players in the comments, because I know there is an abundance more of them. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!